Hello, welcome back to Andrea Fontana Beauty. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be a get ready with me. We're gonna do my makeup and I'll chat a little bit about where I've been, why the filming schedule has been all crazy, just what's going on in my life. I have very dirty hair, so we're just gonna put this headband on and hide it. This is my first video filmed in my new studio. I haven't filmed, okay, I shouldn't say that. It's the first makeup tutorial that get ready with me makeup situation where I've like actually set up lighting so you're on my face. I moved in July. It is now November. It took me a second to get there, but we're here and I'm really excited. I'm gonna be filming a bunch of videos today, so hopefully you will be seeing many after this coming out. And I like how this is looking. I like the lighting. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder. I think I figured out a good setup here. As you can see, I painted my studio the darkest gray before black. So it is actually providing a very wonderful background for makeup paired with my lighting. I have a mirror down here, so if you see me looking down, that is what I'm looking into, but I think this is gonna be good. We'll see how it goes. I currently have right here my current makeup basket situation that I filmed when I set up my vanity. I'll link that video down below if you want to see what is in this current makeup basket. But I wanted to do one final look before I film switching out for winter because it is November 10th today. And I am going to be swapping things out. I mean, I still want to use the warmer colors, but I feel like I'm ready for, you know, some new palettes. Right now I have the e.l.f. Electric Mood palette, the Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters palette, the Garden of Juvia's palette from Juvia's Place, and the Saga of Freya palette, which is like the double situation. So those are the 4 palettes that I have. Maybe we'll do sort of like a, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like a warm rusty situation. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's my first time. I'm actually excited because I haven't shared my current favorite foundation on the channel yet. I think I mentioned that I got it maybe in a previous video, but I've been using it for a couple of weeks now and I'm really loving it. So if you're ready, stay tuned. We're gonna start with my brows. I'm doing my usual brow situation, just using so that was the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in black, and I just put it in the areas that I want a little balance. So there are the brows. They're done. Super easy. We're gonna start with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I need to like hurry up and use this one up because it's already starting to dry out. I don't use this on myself as much as I use it on other clients. I don't use this specific one. I have a separate one in my kit. And I go through those so fast, so it's kind of funny to me that this one is taking me so long to go through. But I think it's just because I have so much more stuff that I like to experiment with, and I obviously when I'm doing like 10 faces a day at a wedding, like I'm gonna go through it quicker when I literally do my eyeshadow like maybe 3 times a month. So I shouldn't be surprised. So what are we gonna do? Oh, we could do like a lilac situation. No, kind of want to go rusty. You know what? I'm 100% gonna be putting away this Gather Round Sisters palette. So we're gonna use the like maroony tones and then warm it up a little bit with some of the Juvia's Place. So these are the 2 palettes we're gonna be using today because they're the 2 that I used the least in the past like couple months in this rotation. We are gonna start by popping Hello Salem, which is just this nude matte tone all over the lid as our base. This palette overall is very cool, as you can see. And since I'm using maroon-ish tones, I want to bring some warmth in. So, using the same brush, I'm gonna go in with the shade Marigold, which is this pretty bright yellow. And I'm gonna buff that into the crease on a fluffy brush, same one that I've been using. I really enjoyed this palette. I think I'm gonna like it more in the spring when I get into those like lilac and pinky tones. There's a lot of pretty purples in this. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with the shade Oh Honey, which is this matte, a very, how do I want to describe it? It's like a true copper, but matte. Like that medium tone, warm brown. So we're just popping that through the crease again, gently blending it out like that. So we got a nice warm crease. Take an angled fluffy brush. This is the Precision Angle BMX 465 from Moda. And taking Gardenia, which is just a really nice nude. That was a delayed reaction. It's like a nude peachy pink. I'm just gonna buff out the edges so that it looks a little cleaner. And I'm gonna go back in with a little more Oh Honey. So it's like pretty medium tone right now. Now, I think I'm gonna use Tis Firm. I just watched Hocus Pocus. I don't remember. That's gotta be a quote from the movie. Anyways, it's this maroony, shimmery shade. And I'm gonna spray a flat, it's technically a concealer brush, but I'm gonna spray with a little bit of setting spray and then go into It's Firm so that I get less fallout. And a little bit more opaque. And I'm just placing that all over the lid. Like that. I'm not so worried about getting it super opaque on the inner corner because I'm most likely gonna add a pop of gold or something there. On like the inner quarter, right in there. Perfect. I got absolutely no fallout with that because I sprayed my brush. So if you have issues with that, try it. Because ColourPop shadows are pretty, they're mattes and honestly both their shimmers are pretty dusty when you tap into them. So that'll help. Next, I'm gonna go back in with that same fluffy brush and gently buff out the edges, kind of combining where the lid and the crease meet. Now I want to go in with the shade Night of Frolic, which is this deep burgundy matte tone. And I'm going to take a new brush, so it's just a little bit denser. This is a Morphe M321. I'm going to just dip in gently and just place that in the inner, or excuse me, in the outer corner to make this a little bit deeper. That's pretty. It's like a true wine tone. It's like a burgundy with a little extra purple in it. I really like that. Okay, so once we've placed it, we're gonna go back in with our blending brush and really gently just like buff it out. I'm not pressing very hard. I'm also holding my brush really far down, like close to the end, so that I'm not using too much pressure. It's really pretty. This color would look so pretty on its own, just like all over the lid. Next, we're gonna go back in with that shade Gardenia, which was that light peachy pink from the Juvia's Place, with that angled brush. And again, we're just gonna buff out through the crease just so that everything is a little more subtle and blended nicely. All right, now I wanna put a little pop of, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna do a pop of this. I'm gonna do this shade Blossom, honestly. I was gonna go yellow, but now I'm kind of loving this like burgundy pink situation that's going on. So I think I'm gonna take the shade Blossom, which is this beautiful shimmery pink. and using the other side of my brush, this was the BMX 225 conceal brush that I used for the lid color. I'm gonna spray the other side and take a little bit of Blossom and pop that on the inner like quarter. This is one of those shades that's pretty flaky. It's not like duochrome necessarily, but it's just like depending on how the light hits it, it'll be, you'll really see it or you won't see it. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have a base. We'll go with that. It's more of a glitter. And I'm kind of like pulling that up a little bit just so that you get that, can you see? You get that like, I'd say that's the inner third. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. I'm kind of taking away any glitter that might have fallen out. Not a lot did. Lastly, what I want to do is bring a little bit of intensity back to the center of the lid. So I'm actually going to take my ring finger back into that shimmery burgundy color and I'm just going to tap that in the center of my lid. There we go. I don't want it to be too flat. I don't want all the attention to go to the inner corner. There we go. That's really pretty. I like it. So I've already done my skincare. The question is what do I want to do for my primer? I have a couple different options. I think we're gonna go with this one. I haven't used this one actually that much, so we're definitely gonna go with it. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I don't think I've shared this in a video. I've only used it a couple times. Oh, I forgot how much runnier it is, like thinner than my other one. You really don't need as much as you think. I have so many breakouts going on. That's one thing that has definitely changed for me. My skin is freaking out right now, has been for a couple months. It's all stress and hormones and all sorts of fun things that happen at 32. Apparently, we're just applying that everywhere. And once it dries down, it's really light, but it's a little tacky. So it really does, I feel like, help my makeup stay put. The reason that I'm trying it, these are both dupes for the, or like created to be dupes for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. You know that I have loved the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer for a long time. This has literally got like 2 more uses left in it, but I've been hearing great things about this one, so I want to try it out as well. So this one's just a little bit tackier than the Hard Candy one. The real star of the show today though is gonna be this guy, which I'm loving. The Haus Labs, what is it called? Skin Tech Foundation? Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I have the shade 145 Light Cool. This is from Lady Gaga's brand, and I'm just gonna start with 2 pumps on the back of my hand and a damp beauty blender and apply away. I don't know if I've done this combo yet, this foundation and this primer, to be honest. So we're gonna see what we think. I just love the way that it like melts into my skin. I haven't really had any desire to try new foundations in a long time. And it's not because like there's not good ones coming out, but just because like if I have ones that I really love at the moment, I'm trying really hard not to just like buy things because they're new. But this one I just couldn't pass up because it sounded so wonderful and I really do love it. I mean, you can see it's like pretty good coverage with one thin layer. I like the finish. It's not too dewy but also not too matte. I'd say it's more of a satin finish, and because I'm experiencing a lot more breakouts right now, I like that it gives me just a little bit more coverage than I have been wearing. We're gonna use this, the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm in the shade Fair Warm. We're gonna use this just because my breakouts are a little bit more than normal. And then what I like to do is kind of like gently fake buff it out on the bottom there. See how it's not blended out, but it's also not like, it's halfway blended out. We'll go there. I like to do that on the bottom and then let it kind of dry a little bit, start to set. Because I find that that really helps the product cover more when I'm like really trying to cover, you know? And I'm kind of using this concealer to give me a little bit more of a shape with my eyeshadow. Okay, now I'm going in and like finishing up. I probably look super shiny on camera right now, but it's not really like that in person. I mean, it's definitely, I definitely set it. I like how, here's the thing, I like the finish of it even after I put my powder on. So, I don't know. I just feel like it looks really nice on the skin. Next, oh, I forgot I've been using this. This little baby Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I forget about it. And I've been using a puff because of the texture on my chin. So what I do, I'll link these below, but this is a little velour puff and I just dip it in the powder and then I go on the back of my hand like this to work it into the puff. And then I press into the texture on my chin so that it looks a bit smoother. I used to do this technique on just my eyes, but sometimes I like wouldn't do it if I only needed it under my eyes, but since I've been using it on my chin, I've just been doing it everywhere. It also works really great for any pores or shine right through the middle there. You see how it just set that all, but I'm still like, still got a sheen to me, you know? Like I'm not too matte. I don't ever want to be matte. Never again. Spent way too much time too matte. I kind of take like what's residual to go over my cheeks because I have texture there too. Where my redness is, I have KP on my cheeks. So I'm kind of just taking whatever is left over and pressing in. That's how I do my powder, or what I've been doing since I've had texture rather. Time for bronzer. I've been using this Juvia's Place Bronzed Medium palette because it has these two lovely shades. This one's warmer, that one's cooler. And what I've been doing is using the top one, which is cooler, to contour. This is a Moda Angle blush brush that I clearly I don't use any brushes for what they are labeled as. A little bit on the nose, and then I go in a little bit right here just because I find that that's where some of my zits are right now, and I find that it kind of helps camouflage a little bit, you know? Now I go in with the bronzer one, and I'm just a little bit more, I don't want to say haphazard, but I'm just bringing more warmth to the face instead of necessarily contouring. So it's a little less precise. A little less product, a little less precise. Okay, we're gonna go in with a blush that I love. So when this blush gets too low in my kit, this is Milani Luminoso, I buy a new one. As you can see, this one is like on its last leg. But I buy a new one and then I put, give myself this. So I never buy myself a new Milani Luminoso. I just use up the dead ones. If you're a makeup artist with a kit, tell me if you do the same thing. But it's one of my favorite blushes. And there's a lot of products that I keep in my kit that I just like forget to use on myself because I'm always like trying out new things. I've been really craving a very soft highlight recently. Haven't been into a big highlighter. So I'm gonna use Benefit's Watts Up, which is like super subtle, and just pop that right there. The blush has like a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's not like my cheeks are completely matte before this. There we go. That's an old favorite. Now, okay, I'm gonna take the brush that I normally use for under eye powder. I like to do this after I highlight and just make sure that I didn't like go too far under my eyes. Let's do the under eye. What do I want to do here? If I ever go silent, it's usually because I'm thinking. I think I'm going to take that same burgundy shade called Night of Frolic, that burgundy, purpley wine, like true wine color. And starting in the outer corner, connect a little down there. Wow, that really makes me feel crazy. Then I'm going to go in with a clean blending brush. And really like buff it out, but then like pull it out. Like that. Again, you can go back in with your brush that you used, Gardenia, and just that angled brush. Do that. I think I like how that just connects everything so it feels better. So we're gonna spray the face. Last step is mascara. So I will be right back. I'm gonna do my mascara and then I'll see you back here. All right, here's the finished look. I didn't put anything on my lips. Do I want to? I don't really feel like putting anything on my lips, guys. So we're just not going to. This is the finished look. Let's at least like take the makeup off my lips. That better? They look more lippy, you know? All right, that's the finished look. Again, I used the Garden of Juvia's Juvia's Place palette and then the Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters palette, and I came up with this really fun look. It's very different than what I typically do. I feel like I either do warm rust colors or like purpley burgundy, but I don't ever do like this kind of pink into wine tone. I don't know. It's really pretty and I really like it. I think I'm gonna keep it in the back of my head for the holiday season because I think I really like it. As you can see, I'm really enjoying the Haus Labs foundation, the Skin Tech foundation. I think it's really beautiful. And clearly I like the finish because I keep going like this to see my skin. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will likely be filming after this, be filming a switch out of my makeup baskets. You're gonna be seeing new palettes from me in what I'm using every day. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna be using this winter season, at least like through the holidays. I'll probably switch it up after when it's like January. I'll see you for that in my next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave this channel, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye.